When Dr. Meera Sahib invited me to this important occasion, that means a lot to many of you who are here, who are going to be conferred your degrees by the respective institutions which are represented by the Metropolitan College. I must share with you some of my thoughts as former Minister of Higher Education. I had the privilege of being a stopgap minister for about a year. As a matter of fact, the earlier government, the last government, had 4 ministers of higher education. All of us were taking turns as if it was the musical chairs. But then the commitment to higher education in this country needs to be looked at a little more critically, given the fact of the free education structure, which is both a blessing and also a curse. I say blessing because we have a better literacy rate, a better educated workforce, and in the meantime, we have paucity of seats in our higher educational institutions. After all, being a welfare state, how much can a government do? Keep on funding not only education sector, but also the higher education sector. Now, if I give you some figures, we have in this country almost 175,000 students who pass all 3 subjects in their GCE advanced level exam, out of about 250,000 who sit the GCE advanced level examination. Of this 175,000 or so students who qualify enter a university, our local universities as of now can accommodate only 35,000 people. There are about 70,000 who apply for the local university. Almost only half the number can be accommodated. But then 175,000 qualify in all 3 subjects and are able to pursue higher education. Now, during the last 5 years alone, we have managed to increase about 7,500 seats in our university. We have almost increased the seats in the medical faculties by almost 50%, from almost 1,000 to 1,500. Similar numbers have been increased in the engineering and other technological faculties. But all this poses a serious problem. Now we have 16 national universities. We have almost 20 other institutions which offer degrees in the country. That is, local institutions, variety of other institutions. Then we have a host of other private institutions like the Metropolitan College, which is having the graduation ceremony today, which offer affiliated and accredited degrees from foreign universities. Then our government continuously, the previous government as well as this one, in their, if you take the budget speech, every finance minister will talk about making this country a knowledge hub. That means a preferred destination for higher education. So we are aspiring to be a destination for student mobility internationally. But how much are we investing in our higher education sector. Now, Singapore, for instance, is investing almost 6% of their GDP compared to the rest. Malaysia is close up to that. But then our spending is a very small paltry sum. Of course, we have invested in infrastructure. Now, past 5 years alone, we have invested 100 billion rupees and we have built about 200 different buildings, academic buildings for our university. We have built 100 hostels with 400 each accommodation. All of this physical infrastructure is being invested in order to accommodate and increase the intake in our university. But then we keep also saying that we want to invite and make this country a destination for students from abroad. But hardly do we even use the quotas that are available in our university. The Universities Grants Commission has instructed every faculty to reserve 4% of their seats for foreign students. But if you ask how many universities have done that, you will find about 400 foreign students in the Kelaniya University. So there are foreign students for Buddhist and Pali studies. From Myanmar, from Bangladesh, from Thailand. These are the students we are able to invite. When I was Minister of Education, I forced the Dean of the Medical Faculty of Colombo and told her, why don't you set an example? Professor Jean Pereira, he was good enough to agree, and he allocated about 5 seats in the medical faculties to the Maldives. Omar Abdul Razak is here, our High Commissioner. So I went over to Maldives and offered these seats to them. Then when I asked him today, he says, nothing is being followed up. Now, this is fee levying. You pay about $20,000 for those seats. Because Colombo Medical Faculty is the most prestigious institution. As a matter of fact, university education in this country started with the establishment of the Faculty of Medicine, the medical college in Colombo, way back in the colonial days. That was the forerunner to the university system. Then I also did something else. I spoke to Omar and told him, why don't you persuade your government to allocate, because they have thousands of uninhibited islands. Consider allocating one island, and I called all the vice chancellors and told them, why don't you set up a campus, an offshore campus of your university, particularly the 3 or 4 top universities in this country. Colombo, Peradeniya, Kelaniya, as well as the Moratuwa engineering faculty. Try and go there, set it up, because there are thousands of students who are going abroad from Maldives to other countries. So you are a neighbor, you have enough resources, you have enough teaching resources. Deliver about 1 year of your academic course in the offshore campus. 2 years, ask them to complete it here. Earn some money out of this. Because we need to have, our university system has to change by trying to improve. One, we must give them the autonomy, the academic autonomy. We have to give them financial autonomy. We have to give them administrative autonomy. We have this autonomy part in the letter when it talk about the higher education, the university system here. But then the University Grants Commission is tightly controlling everything. So they need to change. This I have been discussing at length, even in Parliament and outside. There has to be a change. We have two esteemed educationists and also people who have doctorates in Parliament. Honorable Susil Premajayanta, late in his life, has completed a doctorate. Congratulations to you. So is Dr. Harsha De Silva, who spoke before me. We have enough people who, as policymakers, who can make this change. But then that needs a lot of commitment. I am not saying this to stop students taking degrees in this school. But our country, if it is to become a preferred destination for higher education, many changes need to take place. Those changes have to start with the need for academic autonomy, financial autonomy, and as well as the administrative autonomy. In addition to that, we also have to promote the culture of innovation and research and development, which is a thing that is much lacking in many of our universities. Some are doing it, but not many are investing enough in innovation, research and development. That is the only way in which we can become better ranked universities in the university system in the world. That is how we can attract students from abroad. That is how we can market our higher education sector and become a preferred destination for higher education in this country. With those words, I conclude saying once again, congratulating those people who are receiving your degrees today. All the very best in your life ahead. Thank you.